components today, class based. Hopefully we'll complete it today, because it's a huge thing. As you all know, it's a huge thing, and we're going to complete it today. And from the last 2 days will be hooks. And those who want projects are there. Are a lot of projects on my channel. You can do those ReactJS projects, and we have some big announcement. We are on Friday, so stay tuned. So for a very big YouTube course. Okay, so that is there, and again it will be live. Okay, so let me share my screen because there are a lot of things to cover. So that we can tomorrow we can start with hooks. Yeah, so this is something. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. I think I have to do something. Wait a sec. Because this cutting, I forgot to do something. Okay, so again let me share my screen. Okay, now it is coming fine. There is some setting which you need to do, or else it will cut half of your thing. Means half of your screen space will be cut, so that is not a good thing. Do it like this much. The size is way too big. So this is what we have created in the previous class, and we have learned about how to style in ReactJS. And now today we are going to do a very important thing first, which is like control component, which is known as control. Everything is known as something in ReactJS or any other things. Okay, so this thing is known as control component. Why it is known as control component? It is basically how we do forms in ReactJS, but they are known as control just because forms are very important in anything. Like I have always told, it is important in HTML, CSS also forms are important, JavaScript also forms are important, and they are important here also in ReactJS because form are important, integral part of any website, and it is there, but they are used in a different way in ReactJS, and we will learn about that. Okay, so let me close these things, or all of these things are closed. Okay, and what I will do, I'll create a new component. New component is known as demo form.js, and it will be RCC, of course, because we are doing class based component now. From tomorrow it's a hook based component. Okay, the modern demo form. Okay, so that is there. Now we will have a const, and here we will have a email which is like this empty string initially. Okay, then here we'll have a form element, and inside this we'll have a div first, because we'll have just create a simple form. And label will have HTML for, as you know, HTML for is very much required, because for instead of for we have HTML for here. Okay, so I will have an email, and then the email, and then input type text is okay, and id equal to email. And so here in React, what happens, the name is not that much important. Those who attended my HTML class, they know that name is very much important. Okay, so here the name is not important, and here what is important, here the thing which is important is a value, and this value will come from this dot state dot email. It will come from here. Okay, this is stated email, it will come. I will save it. Let us have this demo form now. App.js, I'll go. I will comment it out, and demo form I'm going to do like this. Save it, and demo form will show me this email. Okay, demo form will show me this email. Let us have some space. Okay, so demo form will show me this email. So let me start typing here. Actually, I'm clicking very fast. I have a mechanical keyboard, so you might hear what I'm typing. Actually, I'm clicking very fast, but I'm not able to see anything here. I'm typing my name, Nabendi. I'm not able to see anything. You're just hearing the mechanical keyboard sound. Okay, hope you're just hearing it. or else is a base to take this mechanical keyword. Okay, so that is there. So you're hearing my mechanical keyboard sound only, nothing else you're hearing, and it is not coming. So what kind of form is this? Not working? Am I showing you something wrong? No, it is not wrong, because this is not the way in React the forms work. Okay, how the forms work, let me show diagram first. So this way too big. Okay, this is how the form works actually. See what will happen. I have this this dot state dot email. Okay, this is state dot email, and this is showing this value as this is state dot email. But as we have learned, when we are learning the state, this things is re-rendered only when the state is changed. So initially it will show me this empty string, and even if I change the state, this empty string only is there. See, it is not knowing if that is this change. For that, what happens in React, we need to have another thing known as they are telling, we'll have a on change handler, and I'll exactly say how it will happen. On change handler will be there equal to this dot, what's the name should be there, handle. I'm not liking that name. Handle email change. Handle email change will be there, and then I will go here. Handle email change equal to equal to. So in classes we have like this. Handle email change equal to event and arrow function. We are making an arrow function because we don't want to have that bind thing and all. Okay, as I've told, we should do this thing. Okay. Then I will have this dot set state is email is email is event dot target dot value, event dot target dot value. Okay, event dot target dot value I have done. Okay, then I'll save it. Okay, event dot target dot value, then I'll save it. So now if I come here and if I press something, see it is getting press NAB and U dot biswas at gmail.com. So I'm able to see everything here. So what is happening right now? See right now what is happening, it is happening like this. The moment I type n here, the moment I type c initially, but when it will load, the email will be like this, empty string will be there, okay, empty string will be there. Okay, then after that what will happen, it will keep on waiting, and this dot handle change will only fire when the on change handler is there, means something will change. So the moment I type and, so for suppose I type and so this handle change will fire, and this handle change will go here, and it will go here in this event. Okay, and will go there in this event, and then what will happen, this dot set state event email is event dot target dot value, event dot target dot value is there. So email will become this n, so email will become n, and when email will become n, this dot set state is run. As I've told that whenever this dot set state is run, the render will run again. The render will run again. So the render will run again, and then the end will be printed. So this is what we are showing. It has been shown here. Go here, and then it will, a cycle will be there. So this is how this works. Okay, this is how this works. Not that much complicated, but this is how this works. And so hope it is clear. So this is how this email is work. Okay, so that is there. Now the next thing, we can do anything now. Okay, we can now have let us have a text area now. Let us see how the text area works. Again, I will have a div, and I will have a label statement for, and maybe comment. It will be known as comment, and yeah, it will be also be comment like this, and comment is like comments, and text area is id is comment, values is a state or comment, on change is handle comment change, and this handle comment change will exactly be same like this. Handle comment change equal to event, and like this it will be there, and then this dot set state is comment is event dot target dot value is there. Okay, so save it, and now I have this thing be a bit of br. I'll have, I'm not going to have much styles here. Yeah, it is okay. Comments is like this, and again I'm able to. I'll go here. This is a comment, so nothing changed. Everything is same. Like the text area, values is the state, on change is there, and on change is changing again. So this is what it is all about. So let us have a select now. Okay, let us have a select now, and I'll go here and I'll have a br again, and I'll have a div here, and then I will have a label and HTML for LANGUAGE language, and language, and select will be there, and name is something which you don't require in React. ID will be language, and value will be this dot state dot language, and on change equal to this dot handle lang change. Okay, so handle lang change is there, but what will be there in this select? So we are making a drop down statement now. Okay, so we have a option of value will be react, and it will be react, value will view, react will view, value will angular, and this will be angular. So one more thing is remaining here. What is the initial state? So initial state is like language is equal to, I will have this react here, or maybe I will have a view here. I want to show something. So whatever is the initial state is there here. So view is the second one, but the initial state I have taken as view. So as you all know, I'm not going to explain much about the select here, because it is already you should know. If you are coming, if you should know that much HTML to know React. So option value is which goes to the backend. Okay, value is the thing which goes to the backend. So this value is like this react and all, so it should go to the backend, and I will save it. And now it is there, and see, by default it has been chosen because I have given in the language this thing, and I have not made the handle lang change. Okay, let me make this thing, or else it will be, yeah, let me handle lang change equal to event, and like this I'll do, and this dot set state is like language is event dot target dot value. So now I can come here and choose anything, and it will be like that. So this is how it is there. There are two other important things also in a form, which are checkbox and radio box, and that you have to figure it out how to do it. I'm not going to tell it, but I'm going to tell how to handle this thing, how to submit this thing. Okay, so submitting is done through button again. So I will have a br maybe, and then I will have directly have a button here. Button, you can have a button also, or also you can have input of type submit, it doesn't matter. But the thing which does matter is that type submit is a must. Okay, type, or else it is treated as a normal button, even if it is inside a form. Inside a form you should always have a button of type submit, or a input of type submit. It will create a button like this. Okay, but it is a special kind of button which can submit this form. Okay, that's why it is required. And when you have a type submit in React, what happens, you get access to on submit thing. Okay, on submit we are not going to create it here, because whenever this submit button I will click, there is a on submit event will be fired, and that on submit we do it here. On submit equal to this dot handle submit, this dot handle submit I'm going to do. Okay, and this dot handle submit I have to create now. So this dot handle submit, I'll come here, and handle submit equal to event like this I'm going to have. And now event.prevent default is very much important. This I have told when I was doing the JavaScript thing also. Or else, what is the default behavior of the browser is to refresh it, is to refresh the refresh this thing. So let me show once. Okay, how to, again I have shown it, I think, in JavaScript also. Here I will also show. This is very much important, and mostly what happens, all this code will remain like the same. And at this point, see, at this point what will happen, we'll send the code to the backend server. Okay, that is like this. I'll do inspect here, I'll do a console here, and let me come here and write something. This is and I will have Angular, and I'll do a submit. So it came for a second, but it got refreshed. So that's the reason we need the default behavior. And this is coming from the old, means when browser and all these things were created, PHP was the main language. So it needed to be submitted, but we don't need that default behavior. So in JavaScript project, vanilla JavaScript project, ReactJS project, Angular project, Angular, I don't remember. I do Angular, but not that much. Okay, all these places you need this event.prevent default. I'll save it. Now I can submit it. Okay. Now this is React. I'll choose submitted, and see this dot state, all of the things that the user is typing, I'm able to have it there. Okay, but I'm also having this here like this. Okay, this dot state and all. Okay, so it's okay. But I'll show one thing. Okay, after this it is submitted, so this should go away actually. Okay, so it's always good to have like this dot set state and empty all of these things. Well, once we have got the state, generally we send it to some backend or something we will do. Then what we should have, we should have the email as this, the comment has this, we should have the language as, again the view should be there. So this is like this. See what I'm telling here. Let me show. Okay, I can do this is view. No, this is Angular, and I'll choose a Angular. Hopefully this will work. Submit it, and it has got become blank, and it hasn't gone that thing. This is how it should work. So that is done. So now the next thing which you are going to learn is a very important thing. Why it is an important thing? Because this is lifecycle method. This is what it was there in your class-based component from starting, but in functional component this was not there, and React introduced this by the use effect hook. Okay, use effect hook, it was introduced in React. So what is there, we need to learn about this, and this is something which I always tell, it is very important to know about lifecycle methods. Or in hooks, when you're going to see hooks will become very difficult, like especially the use effect hook, which is a single hook which replaces all the things which I will talk now. Okay, so not all the things, but the main things I will tell about that, and a bit of theory is required here, and we'll come back to this lifecycle method again actually. Okay, so first thing is that, let me show a theory kind of a thing. Okay, so I think either I have to go full, I don't want to go full, or maybe I will go full. Okay, so lifecycle method phases are there. Some certain phases are there. When an instance of a component is been created and inserted into DOM, it is known as mounting phase. Okay, mounting phase is very much important. Then there is a updating phase. When a component is been re-rendered as a result of change of either its props or state. This is very important. These two phases are very important. Unmounting is something which we will not learn now. We are going to see again this thing when you're going to learn hooks, but its unmounting is also very important. Okay, error handling is something which we nowadays not we don't look that much in React. This is an old kind of a slide. And mounting is there, again this mounting, the constructor is there, static get derived state from props is there, render and component did mount is there, and then updating also we have these methods, and we're going to see among see them. Component will unmount is there, and the mounting lifecycle method is like this. Constructor will run first, we'll see this thing, then get static get derived state from, this is a new thing which you have not learned, we're going to learn. Render is something which we know, component did mount is something which you don't know, and we're going to learn about it. The phase, the structure is like this. The so what happens, what does this lifecycle method means? The so how the control passes from one thing to another, from a constructor to this, constructor to this, and all these things. Okay, so Monty lifecycle method, the constructor is the first thing. A special function which has been called when a new component has been created. We know this thing. Okay. Construct is the perfect initializing state and for initializing state and binding event handler. We have seen that this dot bind is done here only. Okay. Don't do HTTP request from constructor. Yeah. HTTP request generally takes 1 or 2 seconds, and we do it through fetch thing. And I'm going to show how to do the HTTP request, because that is the last thing in everything, because that is the most important thing which a front end engineer does, to do a HTTP request. That is the most important thing in a JavaScript project, in a ReactJS project, or anything. When I take interview, if a person doesn't know how to do API request, it means he or she has been rejected in the first go. First go. Okay. So that is like that. Don't do HTTP request from a constructor. Okay. Don't do HTTP request from a constructor. Need to call a special function, super props. This is required to have access to this dot props in our component. Okay. This dot process is because of that can set state directly with this dot state only in constructor. At all the other places we have this dot set state. Okay. Then this get derived state from props is the, this is a rarely used lifecycle method. It's very important. It is used to change the state of a component depends on the changes in the props online. Need to return new state or null. Do not use HTTP request from this. Actually, I have never used this in my life. And what happens, we are not going to concentrate much on it. Why? Because in the React hooks also this method is not there, get derived state from props. Okay, so that's why we're not going to learn about it much. Just it is there. React have not retired it, so we have to learn it. Render is, we know the render it is. Okay, it is the only required method. We know about the render. We have seen that render. Even constructor is not a required thing. You can omit the constructor, but render is required, because read props and state and returns JSX. Do not change state or interact with the DOM or do HTTP request from the render. Child compiler method also executed after render. So that is there. And component in mount is a very important method. This method will be called only once. This is very important. It is being invoked after the component and its child components are being rendered in the DOM. I will tell about that. Perfect place to interact with the DOM or do HTTP requests. All the HTTP requests, like to an API endpoint, have been done from here. We are going to, in the future, we are going to do a API call with fetch or access with this only. Children component methods are also executed after the render. So this is what is there. So this is the, okay. Updating lifecycle method we are going to learn after that. First we are going to do the mounting lifecycle methods. Okay. And I'm going to also tell what is the mounting. Let's see, enough of theory. Now we are going to learn about the main thing. Okay, main means through an example, and then we are going to learn everything. Okay, so I'll come here and do a parent life cycle.js. I'll do, and RCC I'll do. So default const name is parent lifecycle method. Console.log parent lifecycle constructor is there, and static at, so derived state from props is there, then console.log parent like this I will do, and then component. So these lifecycle methods are used like this. Okay, component did mount is there, and console.log parent component did mount, and then this render is there. Okay, and here I will have first after this render I will have a console.log and parent lifecycle render is there, and then here the h1 is, okay, h1 will have, I think I will have a this dot state dot name. So what I'm having a lot of consoles here, because I want to see the flow, how the flow is coming. That is something which I want to see. So that is very important. So I'll save it, and then I'll come here and let me, too much comments are here. It's okay because I'm going to give the code today, so you need this comments and all. Okay, you should know what about there. So okay, so after this I will have, what is my name? It is parent life cycle methods is the name. Save it and see. So let me refresh it. I don't know why it is coming two times. Okay, someone was telling me today something that in this new React, okay, you have to. Someone was telling me something that in this new React, one of my student was telling me that in this new React, you remove this thing, remove from the index. So it is coming two times. So two times it should not come. Strict mode, you remove it. Ah, one of my student was telling me this today. So I see students tell so nice things. So React recently released React version 18. So no new features are there. Only this kind of troubles are there. See, my React router DOM was was getting, means I was getting error in the React router DOM and all these things. So no new features were been released in React 18. Something from the library means authors. Library authors means like the React router team, Redux team. Some good things are there for them, but nothing much is released. And if it there will be something, I will include in the course, okay, in the future. But only the things, the pains are included. So this two times this log is coming, but it should not come two times, but it was coming. So some just index fix I have done. So, and that is also thanks to one of my students, some of my students from my paid courses. So they have told me to do that thing, okay. So that is there. And so this I will do. And see what is coming like this, okay. So parent lifecycle constructor is there, okay. So as I'm told, so where is this? I want to show this, no, this one. Yeah, shit, it is very small. So okay, so the first thing is that, see, the constructor has been called first. So whenever it is passed, whenever the control is passed in this, constructor is called first. Then get derived state from props is called. Okay, so the get derived state from props is called. Then the render is called. It is not like the component did mount is called after that. No, the render is called after that, and then after that component did mount is called. So why community mount is very much important, because see, the render actually shows everything on the screen, shows everything on the browser. That is known as DOM. DOM is what? DOM is seeing everything on the browser is the DOM. So everything is shown in the DOM. After that, only component did mount is running. So that's why it is a perfect place to do the API call. See, when I'm teaching JavaScript, I told one thing. See, Java, when I estimate it's a JavaScript project, you give JavaScript always at the end before the body is ending. Why you give that? Because I want all of the DOM to be loaded first. All of the DOM means what? All of the things in the page to be loaded first, then only the JavaScript should run. It is something like that only. Everything should run first, then only this component mount should run. Then from here we will do some, then on a side effects like API call and all those things we are going to do. All those nice things we're going to do. So this is how it works. Okay, so now the next thing which I'm going to do here is have a child lifecycle matter also. So because I want to see one thing, okay, I want to see one thing, that what will happen if the child is also there. So let us do that thing. And from parent lifecycle I will come to this. I'll come here. I'll do a child life cycle .js, child life cycle .js. And so this is there, and then our const is there. um, yeah. Okay, we'll do one thing here. Okay, I will copy this one because everything will be same. And instead of this, why to write the code again? I'll replace it with child life cycle method. All of this. name is like this. All of these things are like this: constructor, render, and all these things are there. So save it. But now from where I'm going to call this child lifecycle method? So from this parent, I'm going to call this child lifecycle method. After this thing, this dot state and all, I'm going to call it. But I need a fragment because I am having another statement here. So I'll have this now like this, and I'll have a child lifecycle method. Like this, and save it. So see, I will now remove it and I will now refresh it. So it will come like so. Now the parent lifecycle constructor get derived state from props, render constructor. Then after this render, the constructor from the child is run. Get derived state from the child is done. Render from here is done. Component did mount from here is done. At last, the component did mount of parent is done. So that's why it is the best place to do API call. Always the higher level. You should do API call from a higher level like this. Parent, you should do the API call, not from a child, because it runs at the last. Every functionality is done, then we can do the API call. So this is the perfect place to do that. Now we'll see the updating lifecycle methods. Means what is the updating lifecycle method? Again, let me do this slideshow thing. So updating lifecycle methods. So see, one thing you might have noticed, this mounting lifecycle method, the state was not changed. I don't have anything like the state was whatever the state was there, it was the state was there like that only. State was not changed. But in this updating lifecycle method, what will happen? The state, when will this updating lifecycle method run? The updating lifecycle method will run when your state get changed. When your state get changed, then the updating lifecycle method runs and the state get changed. State or props get changed, props get passed or state get changed. So we'll see from how the state will change. So in this, the first thing which is run is get derived state from props. Then okay, I should go back. How do I go back? Okay. Okay. I don't know much about this. Okay. So after this, should component update will run. This is a new thing. After a render will run, get a snapshot before update will run, and component did update will run after that. One thing I will tell you, in this whole thing, actually only one method is very much important, which is component did update. Render by default is always there. Okay, so the rest of the things we never use. We never use in React class based also. We don't use it in the functional also. So that is there. And one thing to notice here from this thing, I don't have a constructor. I don't have component did mount. What does that mean? That they don't run in the updating lifecycle method. That is a very important concept. They don't run in the updating lifecycle method again. Means whenever the state is changed, they won't run. Okay, so that is there. Then get direct statement loss. We know what is it. Should component update is a very important thing. Used to be very important. Nowadays we don't use it, and we do it in a different way. In functional, I'm going to tell it again. Decide whether a component should be re-rendered or not. This method is mainly used for performance optimization. Performance optimization it is used, and don't do HTTP request from this method. And it is the only required. We know what it is. Get a snapshot before update. Again, it is not been used, so I'm not going to tell. But this is very important. Component did update. Call after the render is finished in the re-render cycle. Use a snapshot from the about get snapshot update. That is blah blah blah. So can be used to do HTTP request. This is a very important one. Can be used to do HTTP request from here also, and it is sometimes required. Okay. So okay. So now we are done with this. This thing we are going to look into later on. So now let me also bring it. Okay, so now again let us have those 3-4 new methods. So what are the 3-4 new methods? So let us have this in parent first, and the first one is should component update like this. I have, and then console.log parent lifecycle should component update, and then get snapshot before update is like this, and then console.log and get snapshot return null is there, and then component did update, the most important method here, and it will have a We'll have a console.log parent license component did update is there. But how we will run these things? So we'll have a button. See, we have the state for that reason. We're going to change this state, so all of these things will run. So we'll have a button here, and then just the main thing of this button is to change the state. Change state, because we want to run this method. So change state is there. Then on click is equal to like this dot set state name is PWD the web dev. And if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. We're doing so much, we're working so hard for you day and night. We're doing 2 streaming nowadays. So please do subscribe. It will help this channel to grow. Tell to your friends, tell to your college mates, tell to your professors. So see this channel, what we are doing for the community. We are helping create web app developer. Already created a lot of web app developer from this channel, from means just from this channel, not even from my paid courses, just from this channel. Okay, so that is there. Now this is there. So now we will have this methods in the your child life cycle methods also. F and life cycle method, child life cycle method, save it, and it will be all of these things are here. So let us come here and let me first refresh it. So all of these things, see, all of these things which have came now, these are the mounting phase methods. Okay, let me release it. See, again in the mounting phase constructor and all these things are there. I'm not touched anywhere in this screen, so to change the state, so mounting have run. So this generally runs during an initial phase. The moment you change the state, maybe by typing in a input form, so that is also you have to change the state. So or else in this case I'll change the state with the clicking this button. Clicking this button, the TWD is changed. See, now the different methods to that. Get derived state from props is running, then should component update is running, then render is running, then the child get derived state from props, should component update, render, get a snapshot before update, again get a snapshot before update is run from the parent. Then the child lifecycle method component did update is run, and at the last component did update or the parent is run. So this is how it works. Okay, and the main thing to notice there is that there is no component did mount is run here. There is no constructor run here. No, they are not running. Whenever you change this, that is not. That is the main thing which you should take away from here. And the thing is that these two are the methods which are the most important. As I've told, this render, these things we don't use, and this render, and this things is running. So this is the most important thing. And with this we have done this lifecycle method. So we are going to revisit this again when we are going to do hooks. Okay, and I'm going to show in a very good way. Okay, so now after this we are going to learn about something known as refs. Okay, for refs, let me open the demo form because I want to show how we get to this demo form through refs also. Okay, so what is refs actually? One sec. So refs actually makes it possible to directly access the DOM within React. So what does I mean directly access the DOM and all? See, one sec. In some water, it's too hot here. So what is there? See, the programming which you're seeing on screen right now, this is like a react.js kind of program where we have a state, we are changing the state and all those things. This is the react.js kind of programming, and this is happening because we have the concept of something known as a virtual DOM and all. So this is a react.js programming we are using, and this is different from the DOM programming which you have learned in the JavaScript world. Document.getElementById, document.this, document.that. Actually, DOM is very much powerful than React also. It has got much more features than React. But React has become so much popular that it covers 99% of the features of the DOM. But still, 1% is remaining. 1% is still remaining even today. So there are certain libraries or something which works very well with DOM. And there will be certain use cases in your React.js career. You'll have some use cases when you have to use a DOM. So in those cases, how to do it in React? So React people also know this, especially during the early days of React. There used to be not all the features in that. I'm using React from 2015. At that time, we used to use this refs a lot to implement something like some features from jQuery libraries. Yeah, jQuery before React, jQuery was very popular. So jQuery used to have a lot of small libraries. So what libraries I'm talking about? See the node modules I'm talking about. See, React, we use a lot of node modules, means node modules like npm packages we use. So in those days, there were not that many npm packages. See, all the internet which is seen today is been built upon open source. So those node packages are made by individual developers and all. So those were not there. But jQuery, there were a lot at that time. So for that also we used to use this refs a lot at that time. Nowadays they're not required that much, but refs have got some cool features. And one of the things is that React team also says that refs should be your last option. You should not use refs because it interacts with the DOM, which makes React slow, which means your project is slow. But it is React is anyway very fast, and it doesn't make it that much slow. React same team sometimes don't want us to use these refs, but I've seen people use these refs. You're going to see, because this whole form, even if you don't need it, you can write it with ref in a very easy way. So I will show that also. So I'll have this refs demo.js rcc, and in the hooks also we have the refs like this. Only the refs concept is like same everywhere. Nice. Only there is a hook is there. You're going to understand this. So refs is there. Suppose now I will have a input type is text. Okay, input type text is there, and let me have this as a refs demo. Shall have this input box. Okay, we will have this input box, and the first thing which I want to do is to get access to it. Okay, get access to, how should I get access to it? So first thing which I'm going to have, I have to initialize it. So for this I need a r const. But the main thing is that we are not going to have a concept of state here. Concept of state will not be there. Why? Why concept of state is not here? Because we'll have this dot input ref equal to react dot create ref. This is how we declare input ref is not a keyword. This can be anything. So this I am calling it input ref, and then react dot create ref is there. Okay, I have used this in the constructor you have to use, and this I'm using so that I can use it at various places. Now what is there? I just have to use the ref equal to this dot input ref. I say, right. Then see if I come here, I can type anything here. Means everything is working. Means I have got a deep level access to this thing, and it is working. So I don't have to go through these things. This all these things I don't have to go through this dot set state and all these things nonsense. And then that cycle is running and all those things. All those things I don't have to go through. The only problem is that React team tells us not to use. But the thing is that I have worked as a engineer for a long time. A lot of engineers actually like this way to use this refs like this. And because you get the access to it like this, you don't have to have a change state and all these things you don't have. But there are some other things also very cool in this. And we're going to learn about both of these things. Okay. So let me have a component did mount. I want to show something here. Okay. So component did mount, when it will run? Component did mount will run after this has been rendered. That's why I'm going to have something in the component did mount, and that's something. This is the input of the current dot focus. Dot current dot focus. What it will do? There is a focus thing in the DOM which is available only in the DOM, not in React. It is available. So I'll do this thing and see. I will refresh it. See, this thing is coming. This focus is coming. This focus is actually very important thing. Okay, this focus is actually very important. This focus is blinking here. So this is something which is like very important, and not very important, but it's a things which saves the user state, user step. Okay, so now Let us do something. Let us do something like this. Means let us do something like this. Okay, maybe I will call it a label HTML for what I will call it, name. Maybe name I will call. And if I am giving HTML for, I should give the ID also. ID equal to, because for and ID comes in pair. Okay, so name label, I have the empty label name like this. Save it, and then I will have something. So I am going to tell how easily we can change that thing. Okay, I'm going to do, and then okay, it is giving me that same error. I'll have a form maybe. I'm not going to show everything, but I'm going to show how to get that. The main thing there also was that this dot how with on change and all, I was able to get the user data. Okay, form and all will be there. It is giving me error because they were ending with some different things. So now the error will be gone. So now I will come here and then like this I'll do, and this one will be not be named. This one will be maybe email. I will take email. I'm only going to show two things, email, because we have to cover, I think, one more thing here. Email, and this will not be input ref. This will be email ref, and I will have this dot email ref equal to react dot creator. Only this much I need to have. That focus will be on the name always. Okay, so we're not going to have the focus there, and only this much I need to do. Save it and see, this is done. So now what I'm going to have, I'm going to have a button. Okay, let us have the same button only. Why not? This same button we're going to have. So I'm actually now, I thought I will let me convert it only. So again, why to waste the code? I'll have this on submit, and I'll have this also. Okay, this dot set state is actually not required and all. So I'll have this thing. There's no state, or this thing is not there. Okay, now I want to get the data. So how I get the data? So I get the data with this dot. Okay, so this dot input ref dot current dot value, and current dot value will give me the value. There this dot state was giving me the value. So I will come here and Naveen Vishwas. So like this I will submit it. See, so easily we are getting this thing. We don't have to do all those things like this thing. This dot first making a this dot set state, then having this dot value dot state, then having this thing. Then all these things we don't need it there. In refs we don't need it, and that's why I'm telling. React teams tell us not to use it, but I've seen a lot of developers using this thing. Okay, so that is like that. We're done with this refs and all. So can we do the next thing in 10 minutes or 15 minutes maybe? Yeah, we can do it. So the next thing which we are going to learn is the context API. So what is this context API? So okay, I have this thing. So in React, we pass the data from one component to another, from mainly from parent to child, and child to parent also we can pass that. We've seen that example. From parent to child, we pass it through something known as props. So props, we pass the data from the parent to the child component. So let us see one diagram now. Okay, suppose there is a data is there, which I have to pass from the app component to the component C. The data is recorded only by the component C, but the component, there are component A and B between them. Like app component, the children is component A, children component A, the child is component B, and component B, the child is component C. So we have to forcibly pass the data from A to B through A to B also. This is known as a prop drilling problem in React. Okay, so suppose there are not only two component, there are 100 component. They are of different structure, different tree kind of a structure is there. Then what? Then also we have to think, okay, I have to pass data from here to here. Suppose that there is a complicated tree kind of structure, and from component C to the other branch of the tree I have to pass. Then I have to use that method as props here, component B, C, and all these things, and move it. Okay, so that is not a good way. So there is something known as a context API in React. That is both in the class-based thing and the hook-based also it is there. Hook-based a little bit difference is there. And through that, what happens? It can pass a data directly from component A to component C. Okay, and some people confuse it with Redux, but please don't confuse it with Redux, because Redux is meant for some bigger thing, bigger concept. We're not going to learn Redux here, but I have a Redux means playlist also. You can go and look into that. That is for global state management. Okay, okay, so that will do. So now let us have this. Let us see how it works. Okay, so for that we'll come here, and first thing we are going to have is a child.js, and it will be rcc child and child. Then we'll have a parent.js, and it will be rcc parent, and here I will call the child. I'll call the child like this. Save it. Okay. Then I will have the parent.js and then rcc and parent. Okay. And this grandparent will call the parent. And finally, and we are going to have this kind of a thing. Okay, finally this grandparent will be called by the here. So grandparent will be called by this. Okay, let me again comment this out. We have got a too much comment. Okay, so that is there. Grandparent I'll call. So child has been shown, but child has been shown from means grandparent is calling app is calling grandparent is calling parent is calling the child, and the h1 is shown from here. Okay, so that has been shown like this. Now I want to pass some data from app.js to directly the child.js. I don't want to go through grandparent parent. If I want to go through that, I would have passed it to the props, but I don't want to go through that like that. So I will use the context API function thing. So what for the context API, what we need to do for the context API, I have to complete the component, and I have to do a user context.js. I'm going to do user context.js. Okay, here. So I'm creating another function, user context.js. It is not required to create another function. You can do this in app.js also. We're going to see it when we're going to do the hook-based thing, but it's okay. You can create a different file also. Import React from React. It's a different kind of file. It's not a class-based or something. Here we have to do a const user context equal to react.create context is there. Okay, so this is how we create the context. Then const user provider equal to user context provider, and const user consumer is the user context consumer. Then export user provider and user consumer. See, in context the main feature is like this: there is a provider and there is a consumer. So from wherever we want to pass the data, we wrap that thing in a provider, and from wherever we want to get the data, we access to the consumer in two different ways. We are going to see both the methods. So from where we want to pass the data, we want to pass the data from app.js. So we will come here, and this grandparent is there. So this thing, too much of them has come. So after this, what we are going to do is like the user provider, and like this it will be there, and then I'll make it in the top. Okay, like this I'll do, and then user provider, I want to pass something. So value equal to, see, in props I was passing a value with the name and JavaScript. I have told here that name is not a keyword, I can use anything. But here one thing is there, the value is a keyword. Okay, value is a keyword, you have to let value only, nothing else you can write. And this Nabendu is something like this, a string. We are passing a different string, so here also I'm passing a string. Okay, so this I do Nabendu I'm passing. So now I want to get it directly in the child.js. So how to get it directly in child.js? It is not that much easy. Means earlier it was not that much. It is using an old React concept known as render props. Okay, and that is a bit of complicated logic, not logic, complicated structure is there in that. Okay, so we'll do that, and the new way is much more better, but it is much more better in hooks, the new way. Okay, so the how we'll get the data, like it's not like clear as props and all. I want to get a data Nabendu here in the chat. How to get that thing? So as I've told, we are going to do it through the user consumer. So let us do that. In the return, I'll come, and the return I'll do a user consumer. So I have to take it this user consumer, and let me also remove this thing. I'll use it again, not an issue. And then I have to come here, and what is this render props pattern? Something like this I will do, and then I will write user, only user, anything. Okay, and this is not a keyword, I can do anything here. Okay, so then I have to do this, and then I have to do this return div. So return I have to do, and then this user can be done. Okay, so this, maybe this hello user I'll do, save it. Okay, and let this be h3, and let me have a h1, not this thing. H1 will be like put it thing, child component will be there, save it. See, the main thing is that Nabendu is coming. This is how it is coming. So I'm passing Nabendu from here directly through the child by passing the grandparent and the parent. Okay, one more thing I forgot to give. Let me give the attendance form. I even forgot to create it. Okay, so let me give the quickly that this thing, and you might be seeing that this is a complicated way to give. It will become even more complicated if you give some more things, like if you add something more. We are going to see that in the hook based, it will get more complicated. Is if you're going to pass some another props, it will get even more complicated. Okay, let me do copy. One sec, I am preparing the attendance form. Actually, I forgot to prepare that also. One second only it will take. A3 shorten your and mark your. And those who are watching it from LinkedIn and other platform, please try to watch it from my YouTube so that you can reach to more people. And okay, so mark your attendance here. And why I did it like this? I don't like it. I don't like it. Monomit likes it. Export default. And it's okay. Alright, so that is like this. It is working. So now, what else? Now, as I've told, I'm going to show a very easy way to do this thing. And for that, first thing is that here we have to pass the whole thing. Okay, export default. Okay, the user context I'm passing. Okay, because this is used in that way. And I can again update it in the child, but I don't want to update it in the child. Maybe from app.js will directly get in the parent. Then also we're bypassing the grandparent. If you want, you can do it in the child also, but I want the code to be there. So this another method will apply it here. So what we have to do here, first we have to do and import user context from user context, and then we have to come here and static context type is equal to user context. Static context type is equal to user context is there. Then And here one thing is a problematic thing. Here everything is a keyword. Okay, so I like the fragment way much more better. Okay, so this channel I'm going to move here, but it is very easy, h1 h1. Okay, parent component. Okay, parent component is there, and maybe h2 will be there, and parent component and welcome. I can directly write this dot context. Okay. Only, and here another a problem is there. See, everything is keyword here. This is a keyword, this is a keyword, this is a keyword, this is a keyword. I don't like it like this, but then also it is much more easier than the render props pattern. So I'll do this. So welcome, Nabindu is coming. So means it is getting passed. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how the context API works. We're going to see in much detail also in the hook also, as I've told. So that is done, and actually we have one little topic remaining in the class base. I thought I will be able to complete it today, but I was not able to complete it today, and I'm going to do it tomorrow, because that is the most important topic in any programming language. This is the front end developers always do the API call. So how to do the API call through React is the most important topic. So that we'll learn tomorrow, and then after soon maybe 10-15 minutes, and then we are going to start with the hooks. So we all have filled the attendance form, and I'll see you all tomorrow.